Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Don't Overthink It podcast. I am your host, Donny, alongside Irish. We're glad to have you join us today, and we're hoping that you will enjoy our show today. So let's go ahead and get started.
How you doing, Donny? How's it going, man?
It's going. It's been a pretty good week. Had a lot of insight on a lot of different things this past week, and looking forward to today's show.
Nice. Yeah, same here. Been thinking a lot about different topics that we can talk about, and I came up with some couple little ideas that we can shoot back and forth between each other. So,
Sounds good.
anything you want to talk about first?
So one of the main questions that I had this week, a lot of people ask me, what do I do to decompress from work, the stresses of work and different things like that. I told them I like to listen to music, and one of the main questions was, well, what kind of music do you like? No, I'm just kind of all over. I listen to a lot of different types of music. From it depends. My music selection depends on the mood that I'm in, and a lot of the times I'm just kind of like in a laid back, chill kind of stage, unless I get amped up and going. So, um, but yeah, mostly I grew up listening to kind of like rock, classic rock, different things like that. And my girls listen to like the newer pop music, I guess.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of variety in my music selections. So what do you
Yeah,
listen to?
I'm about the same way, dude. My music is kind of all over the place, and also kind of depends on, what's going on mentally or whatever that connects with me. Because you don't want to be a sad person listening to some sad music, because but that seems the way it works. Kind of like whatever attitude or mindset you're in is kind of the music you go towards, which is not
Yeah,
helpful at all, really. But that's just the way I do it. But yeah, I'm about the same. I mean, I listen to a bunch of classic rock, and my daughters also listen to this newer, I guess, like you said, pop music. I'm not really know. I mean, they even listen to some I've never even heard of before. So you know, is there any particular either band or song that is just, hey man, that's my song right there. I love that song that pops out in your head when you think of when somebody asks you a question about like what kind of music you like?
not necessarily. I mean, I have a wide range of music that I listen to. Um, for the most part, when someone says, what's your favorite song that you turn to? Well, it depends if I'm relaxing or if I'm getting amped up. Most of the time, if I'm trying to get myself amped up, I'll reach out to some kind of like Metallica song or something like that, something that's going to get me going. Um, if I'm just in a laid back mood, it's mostly just pretty much anything like country, the
Yeah.
older country, different things like that, just kind of whatever
Yeah,
can help set the mood or whatever.
for me, there is one song. It doesn't really matter what mood I'm in necessarily. If I come across it, I'm going to listen to it, and it's just always been a song that has just been the song for me, and that's CCR. Have you ever seen the rain? For some reason, I just love that song, dude. And also, House of the Rising Sun too is also another one. If I hear either one of them songs, no matter what, I'm going to listen to it. I love both of them. Have you ever been to a concert, like live concert before?
Yeah, it wasn't a big concert, but our county fair had Emerson Drive.
Okay.
I don't know if you know who they are, but they're a country band.
Yeah, yeah.
And at the end of the fair that night, this was a couple years back, they had Emerson Drive play live. And the only reason I went is because I was security at the rodeo, so they needed more security over at the concert. So I was able to go listen to the music and play security for them. So
Yeah.
other than
I've
that,
been
is that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I've been to, I want to say, three or four concerts. It's something that is fun to do, but it's not something I do a lot of. But, if it comes to town or close enough by, you know, and I have the money and the time to do it, and it's somebody I want to see, I'll go. But I think the very first concert I ever went to was way back, early 2000s, I think. It was Lincoln Park. but
Yeah.
it was like they were the main headliner, but they also had Story of the Year, Hoobastank POD in Greensboro, North Carolina at the Coliseum, dude. Just kind of spoiled me. And after that, I was like, I don't want to go to another concert because what can beat that, dude?
Yeah.
So yeah, but I ended up me and my ex wife were still together. For her birthday one year, her parents bought us like Tim McGraw ATL tickets. We went to that, and then I can't remember the other two. It was like little, kind of like what you're talking about at like a little small venue. It wasn't no major label or anything like that, but I can't remember exactly who they were. I just went with some friends. But yeah, are you much of a comedian fan, like comedy, like stand up comedy or anything like that?
Yeah, I've listened to a couple comedians. I'm more of the blue collar comedy with Jeff Foxworthy,
Yeah.
um, Larry the Cable Guy, Ron White.
Yeah, I
Uh,
remember them dudes. They were they were good.
yeah, they're pretty good. That's who I mostly listen to. I like to rerun a lot of their stuff and listen to
Are
it.
you
So
familiar with Theo Vaughn?
not really. I don't really listen to him.
Oh, dude, you're missing out. This guy, this dude is hilarious, bro. He's got a podcast as well, but this guy's crazy, bro. He's definitely a funny dude.
Theo
I've
Vaughn, huh?
even turned my daughters onto him because I used to like listen to a bunch of his shorts and stuff like that on YouTube or whatever, or Instagram or wherever I see him, and I would go play it for them, and they were just like, "That's cringe, Dad. That's cringe." But now I catch them listening to it or sending me messages with the links to a new short or something like that. So yeah, if you ever get the time, look him up, dude. He is hilarious, bro.
I listen to I watch a, I don't listen to, but I watch a lot of Matt Rife, his shorts
Oh yeah, yeah. I've seen some
on
of his too.
on YouTube and like Facebook and stuff. He's pretty funny. A lot of the stuff that he talks about kind of gets backlashed on, but
Yeah.
he's still funny. In my opinion, he's funny. So
Yeah, I've seen some. I've seen a lot of his shorts. I don't think I've ever actually watched like a whole thing of his, but I've seen a bunch of the shorts on social media or whatever. He's a funny dude. And then
I had a
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
So I had someone ask me about comedy last week, and they were talking about I forgot who they mentioned, but they that I brought up Gabriel Iglesias,
Yeah, he was funny.
Fluffy,
Yeah.
and they said that he hasn't been. He's not funny anymore. They said that he hasn't put anything good out. I'm not sure. I don't. I got to check into that, but I used to die
Uh
laughing listening to him.
I mean, I
Just
remember
die
some of his
laughing.
older. I remember his older stuff. I haven't seen anything new from him in a long time, so I don't know. But I know his older stuff is hilarious, dude.
Yeah, I
And
used to die laughing listening to him.
there was this one guy. I can't remember. He was like a country dude, and he wore a cowboy hat. And, what was that guy's name? I think it's like Rodney something. But and he used to sing
Rodney
like make
Carrington.
yeah, dude, that guy, bro, that dude is so funny, man. Them songs he writes, oh my god, he used to
I
crack me
believe
up
that's
back in the
Rodney
day.
Carrington.
Yeah, that dude is hilarious too. But I haven't heard nothing from him in a long time either. But yeah, and then of course you got the classics, Chappelle and Cat Williams and all those dudes,
Yeah,
just insanely funny. So yeah. But I mean, to me, I was thinking about talking about these two subjects in general. I feel like are so relatable to anybody, and this is a mindset that I have about with music and comedy. I guess you can probably add it in there, but not so much as music. It can what music can do to you is so weird, dude. How it works. Like there's certain songs that I'll go back to. I'll be scanning through YouTube or Spotify or wherever, and I'll hear a song from like, the 90s or whatever, and it'll take me right back to this first time I ever heard that song, what I was doing, where I was at. It's almost like a time machine mentally. And I'm like, this is so crazy how the effect of that has on somebody's psyche and stuff like that. It's weird how it works. If you think, in the moment, it just seems natural, but if you think on it, it's just like, it's so crazy how that can happen.
yeah. So Jason Aldean has a song called "Dirt Road Anthem,"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that is, there's a lot of relation to that song. I can relate to that song fairly well
Yep,
when it
same.
comes on. I mean, there's nothing like
Yep.
hitting that dirt road and going out and having a bonfire.
uh, yeah, it's just weird how music can do that to you. And I'll tell you who's a like a today. He's like a today star, but some of his songs, dude, it's just like it hits home big time, and that's Jelly Roll. I don't know if you're familiar with any of his stuff, but bro, this dude, he be getting you in the feel sometimes.
Yeah. So there's a actually now that you mention it, there's a lot of songs out there that are relatable. I mean, I guess it, like you said earlier, it just kind of puts you in the mood and kind of sets the tone for your day or for the next couple minutes. But a lot of the music kind of just it's a good way to decompress. I mean, I drive an hour to and from work a lot of the times, and just having that music there beside me, my shower voice gets pretty good. I mean, I can sing with the, I can when I'm by myself, I can sing with the best of them. But when I'm with other
Yeah.
people, it's like nope,
Oh yeah,
those
I feel
earmuffs
you.
on.
Yeah,
So,
my daughters have caught me or have heard me sing it before, and they're like, "Please, dude, just stop." Okay.
yeah,
I'm
my
like,
daughter's
I
like,
thought
you
I
shouldn't be
sounded great.
singing anymore. You shouldn't be singing anymore. And it's like, what are you talking about? I'm knocking the socks off of these people.
Exactly. They should put me
And
on
like
this
that,
record label.
they're like, Dad, nobody wants to smell those dogs.
Yeah. So are you much of a like a travel guide? Like when you and your family go vacations, do y'all like go anywhere in particular, or is there like a place that you've always aimed to someday I'll go there type thing?
For the most part, yeah. So we tend to we went on a trip back to South Dakota about a year and a half, about 2 years ago. That was the farthest trip we've taken. Um, that's where I was born. It was in Rapid City, South Dakota. So we went back there to see family and stuff like that live back there. It was pretty
Okay.
good. We spent about 2 weeks out there. We drove all the way through from Arizona to South Dakota. I'll tell you, one of the worst drives ever. You know,
I can imagine.
um, when Jason Aldean made that song "Fly Over States," that's exactly what half of those states are. You need to fly over those. It felt like it took us hours to get through a couple. I'm not going to name the states, but it took us a couple. Felt like it took us hours to get through the states.
Yeah, I've never been out in that part of the country before. I've
Oh,
been
it is
like the
beautiful.
furthest. I've been to, I'm from Texas originally, so of course, I've been there. I've been to Oklahoma, and and most of the states leading towards North Carolina, where I live now, I've been to, but just passing through. And then up and down the East Coast, I've been to pretty much all of them states. When a job I used to have where we would travel up and down the East Coast to different places or whatever. So yeah, but as far as the West Coast, I've never been, and a lot of that Midwest area, I've never been.
Yeah. The West Coast has its beauty. Like in Arizona, if you were to stand in Arizona and go in any direction, you can have at least 2 to 3 different climate changes within 1 to 2 hours. If you're down in Phoenix, hour and a half, 2 hour drive, you're up in the mountains, the forest, the trees. If you're up in like northern Arizona and you go down to Phoenix, you go through the trees, the forest, and you get down into the desert area with the heat and stuff. And the farther you go south, down towards the to the Mexico border, it just gets hotter, more flat. Forest, the cactuses and stuff, the cacti, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Um,
it's kind of like the same
but
way here with North Carolina. If you're on the coast, of course, you got the coast. Then you go kind of like through the plains and the hills or whatever until you get to the mountains. But there's a saying here in North Carolina that I've heard ever since I moved here as a kid that if you don't like the weather here, wait till tomorrow. It'll be something completely different. I mean, because
oh yeah,
that's just fact, dude. It could be cold one day, hot the next, rain, sunshine. I mean, sometimes it can be all three in one day. I mean, it's just weird, but yeah.
yeah, that's kind of how Arizona is. But within a matter of hours, like um, yesterday, for example, where I live, it was nice, sunny, and then within like an hour and a half, it was windy, cloudy. It started to rain, but where I work, an hour away, it was cloudy, rainy, and then started to turn into snow. Where
Oh,
my
that's
mother-in-law
crazy.
lives, they got like 2 to 3 inches of snow, and within like this is like within hours, an hour drive, you can have different temperature changes, different climate. You go from dry heat to like 25% humidity or something like that. It's just kind of depends. That's what I like about Arizona. You have everything in one state within 3 hour drive.
Yeah,
Um,
ours here isn't that extreme, but there are differences between, the coast, the mountains, and the plains or whatever. But you ain't gonna run. I mean, during the winter, maybe you might have snow up in the mountain areas at the tops, but North Carolina overall doesn't get a lot of snow in general. It's more just bitter cold during the winter and get down to the single digits, sometimes double digits, like low double digit teens and stuff like that. Thank God. I'm not a big snow guy, dude. I don't like the snow at all. My daughters, they
so
love it. They hope every year. Oh, I hope we get snow this year. I'm like, I don't.
so do you remember a couple years ago when they had that big old cold front come in from Canada,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and then like Chicago, Illinois, Michigan, North Dakota, all those states up in the northern area of the country, their temperatures dropped to like negative 20,
yeah. I
30
remember.
degrees.
Yeah, we even
How
felt
did
it here.
Yeah. We got a little bit in there too. We were down to like I think the coldest we got was like -1 or 2, somewhere in there. I
Yeah,
had to check
yeah.
on that.
I can't remember exactly
Got
where
pretty
we got
cold.
down, but I remember it being just unusually cold because, you know, I, I'm trying to think back, dude. I mean, I've lived in North Carolina since like the early 90s, I think. I think we moved up here in like 91, 92, something like that. And I think the coldest that I can think back and remember is probably like negative 4, something like that. But a typical winter here, single digit, probably like 4 or 5 degrees, but with the wind chill can make it probably feel like negative, but on average it's probably like, low teens as far as where I live anyway. I'm sure other parts of North Carolina, once you get up in the mountain areas, I'm pretty sure it gets a lot colder, but where I live, low teens is about average during the wintertime.
Yeah. So you asked me this question. Now I'm gonna ask you the question. If you were to pick anywhere to go, your dream trip, to go on
Oh, brother.
vacation, to spend a day, where would you go? And okay, so where would you go? When would you go? And why?
Well, that's easy. I mean, it's been something I've wanted to do my whole life, but just never been able to do it. Is Ireland. I'd like to go to Ireland to, and the reason would be just to see where my heritage, come from. To say I'm in my home, where my ancestors were, from or whatever. Just to be able to say that I was there and everything like that. And then just when, as far as when I would want, I mean, as soon as I can get there. I've been trying to get there, all my life, but it just hasn't worked out. But maybe someday. I mean, I hope to get there someday. Yeah, but that's always
So
been a
do
dream, dude.
so do you have anything specifically planned out? Like when let's say you get there within the next 2 to 3 years, because I'm assuming in the next 2 to 3 years, that's usually. Well, I shouldn't assume anything. I'm not going to assume anything. But let's say you get there in the next 2 to 3 years. What are some of the stops you're going to take? Do you have anything like food planned out? Where you're going to like
Oh, bro, I have
restaurants
no
you've looked
idea.
into?
Nope, I have no
You just
idea.
want to hurry up and get there.
I just want to get there. I mean, of course, I want to go to like Dublin because I mean, that's when you think Ireland, for me anyway. When I think Ireland, I think Dublin because that's like the hot tourist spot or whatever. But then I
Yeah,
also want to go into the countryside and see, all of it. I want to experience the whole thing. And I've looked into this so many times over the years where there's these like little Ireland trips that you can take where they kind of like get you on a bus and you kind of take you from city to city and you spend a day or two in this city and you move to the next city and so on and so on, all within like a 2 week span. Some of them mean like 10 day span or something like that. So if I was to go, I would probably do something like that instead of just flying over there and trying to make my own, routes and everything. I would probably do something similar to that where it's already planned and you just go from one place to the next until you're pretty much touched all the major, I guess sightseeing or tourist attraction places that you can, and then come back home. But my biggest fear was always going, if I go to Ireland, I may not want to come back.
yeah.
That's
Um,
always been a fear because my mom went when she was younger and she loved it and didn't want to come back. So I've always been nervous that if I ever went over there, I'd be like, I just want to stay here. And I know that's not possible legally anyway. So, yeah. But maybe someday I'll get there.
My wife has the same, almost a similar dream. She wants to, if she could travel anywhere in the world, she would go to Ireland, just for the fact that she could see like, I don't know. She says there's castles over there. I don't know if that's true or
Oh
not,
yeah,
like the old ancient
definitely.
castles. She wants to go. She wants to go see those and stuff like that. She's a.
Yeah,
I think what brought that on was she's a Harry Potter fan, so she likes the whole, you know, mythical stuff like that. So I think
yeah.
that's what.
My youngest daughter, she's a huge Harry Potter fan too. But my oldest daughter's dream is to live in a castle. She wants to buy a castle and live in it. And I'm like, nah, I don't know about that, but they're cool to go and see, but I wouldn't want to live in one. But yeah, there's tons of them in Ireland.
So what would you think would be easier, making a castle or buying a castle?
Uh,
Probably which
definitely
one would be
buy.
cheaper, I should say.
Definitely buying one. I think that buying one would be better and cheaper because today, if you were to build one today, not saying it can't be done, I'm sure it can, but it wouldn't be as they were back then. For some reason, it's like the more we progressed as a society, the worse our building skills and everything. Because I mean, you look at some of these ancient architects, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like to this day, they don't even know how they built the pyramids. Don't even make any sense, dude. We can't
Yeah,
make a pyramid today, but yet there's tons of them all over the world. That's another place I would like to go to as well as to Egypt. I'd like to go there one day.
I think I'd like
I've
to go to
always
China.
and Japan too. Japan would be dope.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
The
I've
Walk
always
the
been
Great.
fascinated by ancient Egypt and like old Rome and Greece and Athens and all that type of stuff, Greek
Yeah,
mythology and all that. That's something that always has brought curiosity to me. So I'd go to any one of them places. But you got to think that my biggest fear about going to foreign countries is just the language barrier because I speak English only. So learning a different language, like in Ireland, they speak Irish, but a lot of them speak English, so that's not really a problem. But then you go somewhere like Japan, I'm sure a lot of people there probably speak English as well, but I would think that overall it would be Japanese spoken. So that would be my biggest concern about traveling to another country would just be in the language barrier.
I have a coworker who vacationed in Japan every summer. He had his parents actually owned a house in Japan and stuff, so he would go there every summer. He would spend about 2 weeks over there, which that'd be nice to be able to travel, 24 hours up to a whole different country and spend some time over there, and
Yeah, for sure.
that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've always looked at it like, I feel like anybody that wants to travel like that, as long as you're able to do it and financially, financially, most importantly, if you're financially able to do it, I think you should just do it because,
Yeah,
you only got one life and then why not try to go? I mean, that's the way I look at it. So hopefully one day I can get to mine and then hopefully you can get to yours and anybody else listening can get to theirs.
that would be exciting to do. Go the farthest I've ever gone to a different country would probably be Mexico.
I've never been outside the United States.
So no, I'm not going to bring that up. Okay, well, that'll be a discussion later.
All right, dude.
So
So
you
you know
have,
what today is November the 4th, which
yeah, I was
means
just about to ask
tomorrow.
you that.
Yep, tomorrow is a big deal here in the United States with the election coming up and everything like that. So, I just want to let everybody know that's listening is just to get out there and vote. No matter who you're voting for, that's your choice. But just make sure you get out there and vote because every vote counts. So it's something that needs to be taken serious for those eligible to vote. I think you should make sure to go out there and do it. It's your right as a United States citizen to do it. So just get out there and vote.
Get out there, vote, get it done, and hopefully we can move past all this
Yeah, that'd be
nonsense.
nice, man. Hopefully we can get to a better overall place as just not just a country, but definitely just a country first of all, but then just as a world, dude. Because I mean, it's so divided now, but all over the place. It's just kind of sad, dude, if you think about it.
Yeah, the way prices have gone up. I put in gas the other day at Love's, and it was $3.01 per gallon. I was
Mm.
excited about that. I was
Yeah,
excited.
and that's crazy.
I mean, I have a 25-gallon tank in my truck, and I drive an hour, which is about 80 miles. So you can just imagine what gas prices are. I mean,
Oh
I
yeah,
spend about $74 to $76 just filling up my truck, like every 2 days.
that's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
I remember when I first got my driver's license. I mean, we're talking way back in the day, but gas was like 99 cents a gallon, dude.
that'd be
And I was,
nice.
yeah, and then you used to be able to like, especially as a teenager, if you had that friend that had a car but you didn't or something like that. I'm sure everybody can relate to that. You give him like $5 for gas, and that was a lot.
Yeah, he'd fill up his tank off for
Today,
$5.
yeah, today, bro, $5 ain't gonna get you anywhere.
Nope. I mean,
I
maybe
mean,
gets you from the gas station to home, but that's about it.
yeah, I mean, that's just crazy, dude. Like we took a Uber the other day because the fair was in town or whatever, and the traffic over there is just so crazy, and parking costs so much. I'm like, we'll just take an Uber, bro. Just to get into the Uber, it cost us like I think $37 or something like that. And we're talking from where I live to where the fairgrounds is probably I don't know a total of maybe 15 to 16 miles away, but in time wise, probably like 25 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. But with all the fair traffic, probably took like 30 minutes, almost $40. I'm like, it probably would have been just better for me to drive, but I didn't want to get into it, all that stuff over there.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty expensive.
Yeah, and then I had to spend that on the way back home too. I'm like, probably should have drove, but the the pricing for parking is just out of hand over there, dude. And then it's like the closer you get to the fairgrounds, the higher it is to pay to park. And they have this like section that's built for like free parking, but it's like a mile away in a dirt gravel, big huge gravel parking lot or whatever with potholes and just and then you got to try to figure out where you parked at and walk all the way back after you done walked all around the fair. And I'm like, I'm not trying to do that, dude. So I just
Nobody
had an
wants to get
Uber
in
for
shape
me
here.
and yeah, I just had an Uber for me and the girls, and where they dropped us off right there at the entrance to the fair, picked us up right there at the entrance to the fair.
So much easier.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Irish, another question for you. Do you
All
have a
right.
quote for us today?
Of course, always, dude. Let me see.
Okay,
I'm gonna go with um, Theodore Roosevelt, a quote by
good
him,
choice.
where he says, "Believe you can, and you're halfway there," which kind of goes back to most of the quotes I've given and the talks I've given about everything else so far. That if you want to do something, just do it. If you believe in yourself, nothing can stop you because there's so many people around you that are going to put doubt. You can't doubt yourself. You got to believe in yourself. Anything from you, man?
Mm, I got one. Let me pull it up. I tell this one goes to I tell this one a lot in my boys. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know who the who said it, but I heard this one back in 2021. Was the first time that I heard this, and it's kind of just stuck with me ever since then. And it's been pretty good um, in a coaching aspect of things because it relates a lot to having a new coach come in, having being a new freshman coming in, having to learn a whole new system or just different things like that. Even at a new job, working a new job, just being new to a different program or to a different type of uh, company or department, you're going to come with struggles and stuff. Just
Yeah.
learning new things, learning the program, learning the system. Like I said, I don't know who it's by, um, but it says difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations, and you're going to struggle at first. Everybody's going to struggle. We're going to have those hard times, but if you stick with it and you continue to work hard, as you said, and then push forward, perseverance, we're gonna you're gonna be successful at the end. It's gonna take
One
you a while.
Yep.
but you're gonna get
100%.
there. You're gonna get there.
100%, dude. It's like I was saying last week or the last episode where, a lot of people, especially in today's society, firsthand doing some of the stuff that you do with the mental health or whatever. There's a lot of there's a lot of people in the world today that are just in dark places, dude. And sometimes it just seems like there's no getting out of that. But to anybody out there, to say they've never been in a dark place, one, is not true. Everybody's been in a dark place at one point or another, and most of the people make it out of there. I know at the time it seems like it's unbearable, never ending, but there's always light, and you crawl out, and then you look back on it, and you're like, man, I can't believe I made it out of that. That's so wild, dude, and you're in a much better place. So yeah, I agree with that quote 100%.
Yep. And like I said, I use it a lot for coaching and stuff. You come, like I said,
Yeah,
coming into a new program, you having a new coach come in and install a whole new system.
yeah,
You're gonna
exactly.
you're gonna struggle with it. It's gonna be a struggle, but you know what? You stick to it. You believe in the process, and you continue on. You're gonna be successful. I've seen it firsthand. So, and
Yeah.
that's with a lot of things, not just sports. I mean, that's life,
Oh
life
yeah.
in general,
Four. Yeah, 100%.
life in general.
Yeah, it's like there's a little saying out there that you speak it into existence. Like I don't know him personally, but I remember seeing this guy. It was either YouTube or maybe Facebook or something like that, where every day he would post a video of him looking himself in the mirror and just like, you're going to be great, you're going to be successful, or whatever. And he was like working at McDonald's as like a fry station dude, and he just did this every single day. And then over, I think it was like a year and a half or something like that, he was promoted to this, and then next time it was this or whatever, and then now he like owns like 7 or 8 McDonald's franchises or something like that. Just literally looking himself in the mirror and telling it he was going to do it. So I'm a
Positive and
firm
good
believer in
vibes.
that. If you speak it into existence, it'll happen. If you say I can't do it, oh man, I can't do this, then you're not going to do it.
The mindset.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That brings up another good point that popped in my head. Being around like-minded people. What that means is being around people who have the same thought process as you. If you know you're going to succeed, you know, and you have other people around you who think they're going to succeed, all of you guys are going to succeed.
Yeah,
Having the same goal in mind is okay to, in some points, to be successful. You
yep,
know,
I agree. But once
like-minded people.
leaning into that topic a little bit, without going crazy and a long exaggerated conversation, is sometimes it's one of the hardest things to do, but one of the best decisions you can make is sometimes you just got to cut people out of your life.
Absolutely,
It, I mean, and
absolutely.
it's not easy, dude. Trust me. I've had to do it over the years and throughout my life where I've had to just cut them out because they're just negative and they, toxic and everything. You just got to do it. You got to surround, like you said, surround yourself with people that are like-minded, that want the best for you, that want the best for themselves, and together you'll get there. If you have that one person, it can only be one. That's all it takes. Just to, nah, man. It just messes everything up.
Yeah, it takes
Yep.
one person to do it.
Yep. That's it.
So along with that, um, we have reached our time limit today with the show. We're glad that you guys are listening into us and listening into the show. We hope to see you later, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Um, our social medias are in the description. As always, have fun, stay safe, and don't overthink it.
Later, everybody.